After my last chainsaw review with my wife, and she didn't like that one that I bought for her, I got her an even smaller one, and now she has eyes on this one. So let's check it out. I have a large chainsaw that I use for cutting down large trees with. Then I have a little smaller chainsaw to delimb with. But I didn't have anything to go around my yard and tend out these little brush and the little limbs on my fruit trees and around my fence row. So I decided to go with a very small chainsaw, a mini chainsaw. This is a 4-inch made by Saker. And we're going to unbox it and see what all is in here. And I'm super excited about this little saw.
Me too.
I'd actually went to a fig gathering in Mr. Melvin's house up in Georgia. And he had one of these saws. And he said, that is the best tool I've ever had as far as tending an orchard. You've got to get one of these. So I'd been looking for months and months and added it to my Amazon wish list. And I ended up getting a Works chainsaw. And the Works chainsaw is just a little too big to carry around and do small orchard pruning with. It's okay for carrying on around the yard and taking care of bigger limbs, 6 to 8 inches, or even carrying camping with you when you need to collect firewood. So what comes in this one, we have a little bottle of oil to lube the chain with. We have a charging plug. We have a 20-volt battery. We have the chainsaw.
So cute.
We have a little Phillips head screwdriver for tightening the blade. And then we have a little wrench for the blade itself. Also, comes with a nice set of instructions.
I need a pink tool belt.
Okay.
It's so cute. I like the handle. Talk about that handle a little bit.
All right, we'll get right to
And it
that.
has a strap so you can make sure that your hand, you strap it in.
I'm going to get a picture of this. All right, so this is everything that comes in the box. Now, I'm sure this battery comes with a little bit of a charge, but I want to go ahead and hook the charger up to it and start getting a little additional charge on it before we take it out and see what it can do. Now, first impression, it's a nice grip, rubberized grip, so it doesn't easily slip out of your hand. Has a safety right there and has a guard to protect your hands, either from anything that might happen here or from going into the brush to do a charging. Has a little lanyard. I'm not sure that I would actually use the lanyard. Tight little lanyard. But I guess if I was working in some sketchy areas and I was at risk of dropping my saw, then the lanyard would come in handy. Next, we notice that the chainsaw has a guard. So as you're cutting down through the limb, the guard goes up and then immediately goes back through once your cut is complete. Nice tension on the straight out of the box. The blade has the perfect set of tension. The wrench goes on the bolt right there so that you can take the guard off to change out the blade. And then there's a screw right in the front right there that this Phillips head, and you use that to tighten the chain. has a set of warnings and instructions here and here. All right, we put the battery on. I'm really anxious to get outside and use this. We have a freeze coming tonight. I've got some stuff that I need to take down before the freeze so that I can save for cuttings. Now, that stops pretty quick. So there must be some type of a little brake on that. Now, the startup, usually for an electric chainsaw, you have a delay in startup. So when you pull the trigger, you should get an immediate response. Some chainsaws, there will be a 1 second delay before it comes up to speed. And it comes up to speed immediately as soon as I pull the trigger. Let's go on outside and try this thing out. Now before we get started cutting, I want to make sure that I lubricate the blade. So I take the bottle of lubricant that comes in the package and I put just a little bit right down the blade. That side and then some down this side. And we'll just keep that in our pocket in case we need some a little bit later. Now what we have here is a cassava plant. Cassava plants cannot take the freeze. We want to harvest this for future cuttings. So I'm just going to come in here and just whack these off. Love how this thing just powers right through these cuttings. So much better than using my big loppers. Let's go test it out on some harder wood and see how it powers through the hardwood. Our Bradford pear tree broke in half back during the summer. We're going to end up taking this whole tree down very soon. And I'll go ahead and I want to see what the saw can do on bigger wood. Got a nice 4 or 5 inch tree limb here. And we're going to see how the saw takes it. I'm going to do a cut right here. That relief cut went right through that wood. And then we're going to come down through the top. Sawed right through it, no problem. Now that we've got this nice cut right here, let's take off another little chunk so you can see up close. Powered right through that. I'm very impressed with this saw, and I'm so glad that I got it. This is one saw that I will be using as long as I have an orchard for pruning up my trees. If you've been thinking about adding a mini saw, or maybe you haven't, Maybe you need a good way to prune some trees around your house. Think about getting one of these mini saws. I absolutely love this one. We came back to this limb and it was sticking out a little bit. So far, for everything that I've done for this saw, it's an incredible saw, and we're just going to cut through this one more time. This saw is amazing. It changes everything.